man. I've been doing this about 17 years now, and I've never seen somebody try what they're doing here. Hey, and welcome everybody. Joshy RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Jayco today, giving you an updated look here at a model that I don't know needed to be changing, but I applaud them for the efforts. The 377 North Point back here has been one of their absolute staple, infantry soldier floor plans for a while. And what they've done with it here, they have twisted it around, and I think they kind of looked at some features that some other builders were doing, like a pantry-tainment center, and said, we like that, but we don't want to just copy it. We want to perfect it. Now, whether they did or not, I'm not saying. I'll leave that up to you. But, they did their pantry-tainment a little bit differently, and it feels a little more thoughtful, intentional, a little more functional to me. I kind of like what they have going on right here. But the middle bunk bonus room, for the longest time, people have said North Point had one of the best ones out there, but more and more people looking for office desk functions, they have redesigned it to be a more desk-friendly space. But not everybody necessarily liked the hide-a-bed in that middle room. You still have the hide-a-bed there if that's your preference, but the whole desk office entertainment middle bunk bonus room wall folds down. It's actually a hidden Murphy bed, which I was not expecting. I thought it's a very interesting thing they're doing there that I could see certain people wanting this RV to work differently. It could definitely potentially work better for them. Now, beyond that, it's just Jayco doing Jayco things all day. We got this big wide body beauty with the, better tires, better suspension, better pin box, Dexter tow assist, ABS, and electronic anti-sway, and just all sorts of gorgeous luxury features, including a nice update to their little mini camp kitchenette on the outside. She's big, she's beautiful. Going through a North Point, they've really started to give me the feels like the classic Montanas did. Like, it's just an experience. There's just so much thought and detail applied here. You do have the ability to outfit these with a third air conditioner. They've done that for years. It will be a centrally ducted Coleman Mach Air. Coleman Mach Airs run a little bit quieter than most. Now, your front and rear standard air conditioners, also 15K Coleman Mach Airs, but you don't see the square, so you won't hear the air. I believe that actually might be the original nerdism, and that's because they are whisper ducted air systems. Now, did you notice a little bit of a color shift on the camera just now? Because we're getting natural light outside against the artificial light inside, my camera sometimes goes, huh? And sounds like Tim Allen from Tool Time, keep in mind, you want to see these in person, so your naked eye actually sees it a little bit differently from the camera. Solid surface counters through this thing. This has one of those 5-piece TikTok smart sinks where it's got the cutting board and the veggie strainer and all that kind of stuff going on with it. They also, of course, have that big barreled ceiling up here. That trim piece right above those cabinets makes that a little more obvious to see. I also really like they use this one-piece crown molding, which it's actually like a plastic. But the reason I kind of like that, normally you think, plastic, why wouldn't it be hardwood? Well, the trick with wood is up in that region, it expands and contracts so much that it actually is kind of problematic in the sense that trim has a way of popping like crazy. Now, they updated to this roll out, pull out, push in kind of extension table here. Sort of a diesel pusher style dining scenario. I'm kind of just giving you a slow once around the RV before we start busting everything open in greater detail here. But one of the things that I like about this one is it maintains that really nice, basically like kitchen symmetry right here that a lot of your middle bunk bonus rooms simply do not, where you have, the counter space on both sides, that's got that bigger, larger microwave and a big old GE profile, stove, true 4-burner stove and oven. And that large GE residential fridge that they have over here. with water dispenser, ice maker, all those kind of comfortable household sort of features. That's the stuff that you're going to find in North Point RVs typically. Now that we've kind of gone over the basics, let's start looking at a few more of the more advanced features here. Like they go with absolutely maximized window coverage. They actually, if you notice, there's only just a small structural break in between those two giant windows, and they do tilt open for airflow. But instead of sliding open, they tilt. But what that means is there's no vertical beam in the way blocking your views. It is just maximum panoramic viewing and coverage. Plus, you obviously have the day-night roller shades, as I have kind of demonstrated on that forward-facing window right there. The thing is, it's kind of a family model. So if you really want to, wrap the whole family around this thing, it extends right out. Now, when it's all the way out, it does get a little bit tight close to the island, but that's the thing. It's an island, so if you need to kind of walk around it, you can. We're going to come back to this island and check all that out. Now, the RV includes a couple ways to get to fulfill the other seating spaces here. It does have a pair of fold-away chairs. They're currently stowed up in the washer-dryer closet prep area, but I'm actually standing next to, and we'll see in front of the hide-a-bed in just a second, a padded top floating bench that you could slide right over there real quick and easy if you wanted to. Now, if you remember a second ago, the middle armrest on that sofa was down. So it does give you the opportunity to have cuddle compliance if that is more of your preference. This guy over here, you can use it to kick your feet up on the rear sofa. You can, obviously it's bonus storage. You can lift it up a little bit. If you're going to use it like a makeshift table like I have right here, what you might want to do is get like some kind of tray or something solid and flat to put on there, because it is a padded top, so you put heavy stuff on there. Like if you try to put a glass of cranberry juice on it, you're just going to stain the crap out of it because it's going to get knocked off. It's going to fall down. Now, the thing to remember here is this is a wide body coach. And one of the benefits of that is, pardon the noise, I'm sliding the table away. You can do it with one hand. If my left hand, and I am like, one of those, what was it, Scary Movie where the guy is like, this is my strong arm. That's how my left hand is most of the time. If I can put that table away left-handed without looking, it is not difficult to do. What was I say? Oh, this is a wide body coach. And I say coach because it feels like a motorhome in here to me, but it's a wide body fifth wheel. That means that we have a larger 3-seat sofa right here, but you still maintain the side stands instead of only one or the other. That's what the extra 6 inches of body width can yield. Now, you've got, easy access power outlets on both sides. Both of these side stands do have storage in them. The little protective covers for the chairs I put down there just to give you a little bit of scope and scale. All of these windows open for airflow. Again, there's just a lot of thought, attention, and detail that goes into this thing right here. And then, again, they kind of reinvented their storage again. So the cabinets over the sofa, I don't recall having the shelving in here before. And yeah, you got to pretty much stand on the sofa to get up there. But I think you're probably going to mostly use it for small stuff anyway. So I think that kind of doubled the storage. And the fact that you don't have to fight gravity when you're opening those cabinet doors is always kind of a welcome thing. If I recall previously, North Point was rocking a televator. And the trick was if you were sitting on the rear sofa or anywhere except a theater seat straight across from it, you couldn't really enjoy the entertainment center. And with that pivoting TV, that is no longer a problem. And not only that, they've expanded, and I feel personally improved their storage. I really like how on the back of the door, they have this like chunk of space right here. They said that would make a very handy spice rack. Love it. I love that they didn't waste anything. Now, the left-hand side over here, I think what I would use that for, because those are adjustable and removable shelves. All the shelves that you see in this are adjustable and removable, by the way, with the exception of that one, because there's drawers right below it. But the left side, I think, would be really handy for things like a stick vac or, obviously, motion lighting. But cleaning supplies, something like that, whereas the right-hand side starts to feel like that could be an extra, just generic overflow pantry. Not the stuff I'm going to use every day, but the stuff you need to get into every now and then. But I really like this too. all the drawers are soft close, even these little guys built into the pantry, and they made the drawer fronts match the woodwork. And I know that sounds like such a stupid thing to talk about, but I have looked at a lot of RVs and even some very high dollar fifth wheels and motorhomes. When you start putting drawers inside of stuff, a lot of times they cut the corner and they don't color key and match everything. And they were just very thorough and complete here. Very symmetrical kitchen arrangement once again. That, by the way, is a 1.7 cubic foot residential size, 3-in-1 air fryer, convection, microwave, all the things. Now, you do have power outlets under the overhead cabinets right there, just in case you're curious, because you just have full solid surface counter space on both sides of your stove down here. Again, that is a 4-burner stove and a larger oven. So if you are looking to spend extended time making real meals in an RV, this is one that is equipped to do that. Now, working our way around right here, the double wastebasket in the drawer makes its return from last year. This is a better angle to get to show you. They build in-house. They dovetail all of their drawer construction in North Point and Pinnacle. There's some other brands out there doing a very nice job of that. Some of them purchase their drawers. Jayco builds their own, and that means that if there's a problem, it's a buck stops here kind of conversation. There's no pointing fingers between vendors. It doesn't have to be much, but sometimes just that single segmented silverware, flatware drawer right there, I like that. It's very handy. You might notice the double power outlets right there in front of that sink as well. But this is an interesting little feature that they include right here. So this pulls out. Obviously, it's a cutting board, but you notice you can line it right up with the trash can. So when you're done chopping off the carrot tops, you can drop them right in there. But if you don't want to do all that work right here, this is portable. Now, remember that padded top ottoman thing that we talked about earlier? That actually could make a very functional kind of countertop, tabletop, to sort of turn that into a little bit of a, what do I want to say, coffee table kind of function. But check this out. They include a very large counter flush solid surface extension here. Basically, it's waterfall edged, and you can roll it over, flip it, and reverse it. You can flip that sucker up. Oops, I forgot. You know what? I'm sorry. There's so much to cover in these. It is hard to cover every nut, bolt, widget, and whiz bang in a North Point or a Pinnacle RV. They have a ton of things going on. Is that on a hinge, or is that just removable? No. Okay. It sort of looked like it might have been for a second. This is just what I call why not space. They had a little chunk area right there, and they said, why waste it? Let's do something with it. As we work our way around here, one other thing I forgot over here in the island is these two big drawers that you saw under the sink. Those can be removed, and there is dishwasher prep back there. So if that's a feature you're looking for, you're good to go. It also occurs to me I have not yet opened the refrigerator that you may like to see. But first, a quick moment of caution, because I don't want you to break your camper. I want you to enjoy this thing. If you go to look at one of these, I don't want you to break it. Or if you purchase one, I don't want you to break it. This cool waterfall edge countertop thing, you have to pull it out before you flip it up. If you don't do that, you're gonna bust it like the Beastie Boys. And then, as promised, to look inside the fridge and freezer. You notice on the upper left there, that's where you have your ice maker. So, dedicated ice maker, filtered water dispenser. This RV actually has a 3-stage water filtration system. It's good for multiple thousands of gallons. I hear different numbers from 3,000 to 5,000, whatever it is, it can filter a lot of gallons of water. All right, now is where things get very interesting. This is also going to be an area that is very tricky for me to try to put on camera because it is a kind of enclosed space and I don't like to use wide angle lensing. So what you're looking at here, this is how a lot of your middle bunk bonus rooms have been set up for a very long time. You have a hide-a-bed sleeper sofa on the bottom. Some of them have this extra folding bunk above, some don't. In a Jayco, those are going to be rated for 300 pounds per sleeping space. So that folding bunk is a 300-pound sleeper. It's not a large sleeper, mind you. Interesting thing North Point does, probably because the fellow that runs North Point for many years also did a bunch of toy hauler stuff. They include this little pedestal style dining table right here, which if you're going to use this, like you could use that to set down a wireless keyboard and mouse. You could have like a laptop or something over here. You could use this like a very comfy sofa space right here because you have this entertainment wall across from it. And obviously you have this big full-on like bar right here where you could put a computer chair and stuff right there. Because like if you get this table out of the way, if you choose not to use the table, you could put a full-on like nice residential computer chair there. Previously, they also had a couple drawers down here, which, I mean, drawers are nice, but the drawers could get caught behind the slide and you couldn't get to them without breaking stuff sometimes. So what they did here instead, they just went with a couple built-ins. I sort of feel like a little bit of netting right there to keep stuff in place in transit would be nice. So again, keep that in mind. But I got looking at this and I realized, like a Decepticon, there's more than meets the eye. This is a transformer. Because this whole wall drops down and reveals not just a bunk, a second bed, another bed, plus you have the loft above this. Now, when this is down, it definitely prevents the sleeper sofa from opening, but it also creates a far more comfortable extra sleeping space, and you can still use the other bunk. So a bigger, nicer sleeper potentially available right here. But I don't want to mince any words about this. One thing I discovered that you cannot tell just by watching this on video, that thing is heavy, dude. When you pull there, when you're facing the television area, when you pull the lever on the bottom right side, that wall is going to start coming toward you, and you better be prepared for that. You don't want kids doing this. Coming down's not so bad. Going back up, it is heavy as a son of a gun. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not a big muscle-bound dude. I get it. I'm frankly kind of a weakling. I can lift it, I can lower it, I can do all that. With effort, with like paying, so just pay attention, okay? If you got a herniated disc in your back, you might not like that experience. Now, as they've had for a long time, they do have this big loft up here, but they split the mattresses. You might notice that little seam in the middle. So you can use it as a sleeper if you want to. But what I found is the vast majority of people actually get rid of the mattresses or stow them away or do something and just use it as attic storage space. Anybody with a loft model themselves, how have you used this thing? If you'd be willing to share, I'd be really curious to see. And I tell you, all the feedback you folks leave me all the time, I sure appreciate it. Now this ladder, you don't have to try to slide into it. It does tilt out. Keep in mind though, at night, you have a ladder potentially tripping you from going down the top of the stairs. I still prefer it in that location though, because if they tried to put the ladder down here on this end, then you have a really long way down for a kid that maybe slips or something. I'd rather I get hurt instead of my kid, personally. Your central vacuum system with a little electric dustpan is right down here. So the black thing that's closest to us, you flick it up with your toe and you sweep everything right into it and you're done. Little motion light there on the step so you can see what you're doing in the evening hours. Just again, a quick reminder that your windows in here, they're all going to have the nice day-night roller shades. Did you notice the two mega windows above the Super Slide, though? It had one solid valance. I think it was just a nice, classy touch. And it avoids a lot of human error, because if they have two valances and they don't get them perfectly level, it always looks weird. And if I'm shiny, it's because it's hot in this thing. Moving up here into the bathroom space. Let's start from the top. We have a big XL Fajita Friday fume fighting fart fan, which who doesn't love those? Porcelain foot flush tool, and this bathroom is like the toilet space seems the same. The shower and is actually extra large because this is a wide body RV. Now, if you look on the right-hand side, you see that linen space there, fully enclosed. North Point listened. For 1 year, they left that open face. Folks said, I don't like that. So they said, no problem. We're going to give you whatever you want. And I threw my phone in there on flashlight mode so you can see how deep that is. Something I like, though, as somebody who's a little bit over 6 foot tall, is the headroom in the shower like you see over there on the left. Like, it is just a very comfortable experience when I'm not bumping my head on the shower head. But you've got both your traditional shower head as well as the undercarriage sprayer. And, of course, the shelf for the shower beers, which is, frankly, probably the whole reason you're even looking at the RV. There's a lot of RVs that will prep the shower for a seat, and North Point says, we're just going to do it. We're not going to mince around. We're just going to get it done, son. Down here below the sink, which is solid surface countertop, by the way, nice spot for a wastebasket in here, and the triple drawers that you saw. But notice, too, through the entire RV, they worked to get the heat vents out of the floor. But the thing is, the heat ducting, the plenum, still runs through the floor. So the floor stays warm, helps radiate heat through the RV. But they did this in a way that does not cause a loss of efficiency on the airflow. Now, the RV is not level currently, so this door is going to want to close on me. So if you hear me grunting and fighting with this thing, that's what's going on. Now, the headroom that you saw in the shower will be the same headroom that you will enjoy here in the bedroom. Everyone likes to know that there's good headroom in the bedroom, I suppose. You do have an air conditioner up here. You see the whisper ducting over there on the right. You don't see the square, so you won't hear the air. Now, last year or the year before, or something like that, North Point redesigned their front closet space, and they included a bunch of extra dresser space and a laundry basket down here. But they also created a lot of room to walk around the bed, which I think is really, really cool. I want to be fair, though. I could be an absolute shyster and not give you the whole story. I don't want to give you just half the truth. It's only on the one side of the bed. Over here, it is still fairly tight, so please keep that in mind. We are looking at the RV king bed solution today. You could put a queen in this if you want, but almost anybody looking at a North Point seems to generally want to go with the king. A lot of brands have gotten rid of the window over the bed. North Point has maintained it. Theirs does open for airflow. It does have bug screens on it. You've got cross breeze windows, obviously, across the bed right there. What is your opinion on the Cyclops window over the bed? Some people love the extra light. They love the extra airflow. Some people say, man, my head gets hot or cold, depending on the time of the year. I don't love that. I've heard positives, negatives, both ways. The thing is, conceptually, I think this closet is better than what they used to do. Because in my head, we haven't lost any hanging storage. We still have all the hanging storage we always used to have. They've added a couple outlets up here where I think the idea being if you slid the doors the other way, you could use that like a side stand, perhaps for like a CPAP machine, but I think that is a fairly long distance. I'm not a CPAP user, though, so I don't have experience on that. Maybe it's fine. I'm not sure. All this extra dresser drawer space that they have and the dedicated laundry area here. Now, this is not enough for a family for a week, obviously. You're going to fill that right up if you got a couple kids, but it's something. Maybe it's at least your clothes. Maybe just the clothes in your bedroom. It's kind of nice to be able to change your clothes and just have it done when you leave. I mentioned the 2 folding chairs with the dining arrangement that I had stowed away up here in this big stackable washer dryer space, which could also just be a double closet area. And then across from us, obviously, we have our additional smart TV, which is standard and is a little bit downward dog facing, so you don't have to neck crank quite severely at night. If I'm not mistaken, there's also a little bit of hidden storage on the top of that. And there you go. I'm actually going to get right up alongside of these drawers so you can look down in them to kind of get an idea of how much depth we're looking at there. This is going to be for small stuff. Like, obviously, I found a remote control that I tossed in here real quick to give you an idea. When I said if we slide those closet doors the other way, this is sort of what I was talking about right there. And I'm not going to mince words on this or waste your time. When this thing is all closed up, you can't get to much other than really the bathroom and the loft up here. It's a big rig, and everything kind of overlaps a little bit when you close it up. Now, here's a thing I want to throw at you. The steps stick out further than the slide box. So logically, if you can open the door, because, well, I guess not if you can open the door. If you could put the steps down, unless something else is in the way back here, you should be able to open the slide. And if you can open that slide, you can get to the fridge side, not the freezer, but the fridge side. And then you have the dining and some of the sofa space available. But that requires opening a slide, which sometimes you can't do, don't want to do, whatever the case may be. So this does not have awesome travel access, but if you can park yourself in a place that allows you to open one slide, you can maintain some reasonable travel stop function. But for travel stayovers, you're going to have to get somewhere where you can fully open this stuff up. She is not made for overnight sleeping anywhere you please by any stretch. And if that's useful for you, if you appreciate how we blurt it right out there, hit that subscribe button. Let us know we're doing a good job, or don't. I can't tell you what to do. Now, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about this, but when it comes to towing, basically, if you're not hitching up to this with a dually, you're making me nervous. I'm just going to leave it at that. 2 years ago, they went wide body with North Point. Previously, it was only 8 foot wide. I say only. It's a 8 foot standard body. They have gone to the 102-inch max width wide body on this. And that was the generation where it felt like North Point just frickin' clicked and started punching people in the face. At the same time, they also offer optional paint packages. You can kind of see a little bit of a sample one on that Seismic there in the background. That new 395 Seismic, by the way, oh, that is beautiful, but we'll get there. You have multiple different paint packages available on this. Today we're looking at the standard exterior. Working our way around here, you got your exterior mount furnace, your on-demand water heater. The reason I specify exterior mount furnace, for service reasons. Lord forbid you need to have some service work done on it. It is a lot simpler and easier to accomplish. Now, like any big fifth wheel worth its salt, we have an enclosed privatized docking center. Thank Heartland RV for that. It's just not something fifth wheels tended to have. It was just a convenience factor. Heartland standardized in their fifth wheels, and then everybody else jumped on that bandwagon. Now, Jayco doing Jayco things in their fifth wheels. We have the 3-stage water filtration system here. This has a big drop frame storage compartment up front, and we do have a heated pass-through storage cavity, where that actually, does have forced air heat in there, and the ceiling of the pass-through, aka the bottom of the floor for the bedroom and bathroom, does have a double layer radiant barrier for extra comfort and efficiency. Now, it's hard to tell at a glance on camera, but those are not 30-pound propane tanks. Those are 40s. And that's only 2/3 of the propane on this RV. North Point's and Jayco Pinnacles, Pinnacle, by the way, is North Point Plus. It does everything North Point does, and then just a little bit further, like a standard dishwasher and a rear wall cap instead of just a rear wall. Those are some of the little difference factors, but it's touches. Well, they both have double the propane standard of pretty much anybody else, almost anybody else. They have 120 pounds of propane. Now, you have 40-pound tanks, so you're basically going to need to find a place to get those filled, not exchanged. But man, that's a lot of extra propane. Now, up front, we're looking at the Gen Prep option. By default, it doesn't have anything but storage in the front end, but you can get this generator ready. Well, generator prepped. Ready and prepped in the RV industry don't mean the same thing, by the way. Prepped means you still have to do some work. Ready means it's plug and play, just in case you're curious. You will find, MORryde suspension package, MORryde pin box, because this thing is big. I think we got an 18,000-pound GVW on it, which is one of the main reasons this does run with a 6-point hydraulic leveling system, which also just operates much, much faster. Your main deck slides are rack and pinion, and they are also hydraulic. Your upper deck slide is going to be straight 12-volt electric. Now, we already kind of saw the pass-through compartment from the other side. That baggage door that's not open with the blue sticker on it, that's where the other 40-pound propane tank is. And they're all hooked up. You don't have to juggle them, nothing like that. Down inside here, just wide open campsite storage, outside TV hookups. Of course, they leave you the handy little port right there where you can feed some cables through and leave your baggage door closed up. But this I really want to commend them for. Generally speaking, the outside cookers in the RV industry suck something fierce. And North Point said, I've had enough of it. And kind of like the thumping sound system, said, I want something on here I can use and enjoy and be proud of. And they went with this, the Halo Top griddle system right here. And anyone I talked to has had some pretty positive things to say about it. Now, if you are a Jayco owner who has that kind of grill or griddle system, I would love to hear from you, positive or negative. Please share your thoughts and experiences either way. Like any big fifth wheel, we've got the big quad stable step. This is a gas strutted variety though, so you don't have to, you know, throw out your rotator cuff to lift it and lower it. That safety rail handle system, the extended paddle basically for the door lock, all some nice convenience features. But along with the nice suspension, you've also got some really sharp sneakers on this kid. You've got the Cooper H-rated workhorse radial tires right there, and a MORryde CRE 3000 suspension. If something that you can't really see though is the Dexter tow assist system. That is both anti-lock braking, which is great. I personally think every RV should have anti-lock brakes federally mandated. It's crazy to me that they're not. But it also has electronic anti-sway built in. And all that stuff just works automatically. You know what else I love? The way they did the windows and the graphics. It just makes the windows look massive, but simultaneously kind of disappear on that slide. A lot of people credit Brinkley for a lot of that. Ember was doing it a little bit before everybody, but Ember's done a lot of stuff that they don't seem to get a lot of credit for. It's kind of like Cedar Creek. Cedar Creek gave us slide wiper seals, which dramatically improved slide outs. Cedar Creek gave us sectionalized underbelly paneling versus one big piece underbelly, and like a bunch of other things, and nobody gives Cedar Creek any credit for any of that work that they've done. Now, if I remember right, North Point Pinnacles by default actually don't have any solar, but they have some pretty serious solar options. Like the one that we're looking at today has a 2,000 watt inverter installed and 400 watts of solar up on the roof, which I believe is two 200 watt panels daisy chained together. I think they have something like a 1,200 or a 1,320 crazy kilowatt monster solar package if you are so inclined. But like if your goal is to sit off grid and run air conditioners and stuff, because this, as you can see on top of there, has 3 of them, generator really still is one of the best ways to go. And just in case you're curious, this little door over here in the face of the slide, that is a service access panel to get to the back of the residential fridge and like ice maker water line. So I would be very curious, you know, your opinion on this. Did they nail it? Did they fail it? What do you love? What would you not change? Leave me some notes if you're willing. Let me know. In the meantime, I'll drop you a link in the description to double check pricing and availability, because apparently this thing starts hiding behind this pine tree over here. I don't know. I guess I'm just going to keep walking. I don't know. My feet are doing their own thing. We'll catch you next time. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.